How to stop feeling embarrassed about your accent in 3 steps. Have you ever felt insecure about speaking English because of your accent? Do you find yourself freezing up in meetings, presentations, or even casual conversations because you're afraid of making mistakes? If so, you're not alone. I've worked with pronunciation for years and I've seen so many students struggle with this exact same issue. But today I want to show you that overcoming this fear is totally possible and the solution is much closer than you think. I'm going to share 3 essential steps to help you speak English more clearly and confidently, and at the end of the video I'll tell you how you can start practicing these skills with us, so stick around. Here's something to think about. A lot of people spend years studying English, even reach an advanced level, and still don't have clear pronunciation because it's not about how long you study, it's about how you practice. So let's dive into the first step. Step 1, understanding the difference between accent and pronunciation. One of the biggest misconceptions about speaking English well is that having an accent is wrong, and that's just not true. Everyone has an accent. Even native speakers sound different depending on where they're from. But the real issue isn't your accent, it's pronunciation and articulation. Pronunciation is how you produce the sounds of a language, and that's what affects how clearly people understand you. If your articulation isn't precise, the person listening to you might not understand what you're saying, not because of your accent, but because the sounds aren't coming out the way they naturally do in English. For example, imagine you want to say beach, but it comes out as bitch. Or you try to say focus, but it kind of sounds like well, you know, that happens because your mouth isn't trained yet for those sounds. But here's the good news. This can be fixed with the right training, and that brings us to step 2. Step 2, open your mouth. Articulate your sounds. A lot of people speak English with their mouth barely open because they feel self-conscious or afraid of making mistakes. Now, this is a big mistake. If you don't articulate well, your speech becomes unclear and harder to understand. Think about it. When you're feeling insecure, what do? You speak softer, you articulate less, you kind of try to hide your accent. But guess what? That actually makes your pronunciation worse. The solution? Open your mouth. So let's do a quick exercise. I want you to say this sentence naturally. I know how to do that. Now try saying it again, but this time open your mouth more and really articulate each word. I know how to do that. Notice the difference? The more you open your mouth and articulate properly, the clearer your English will sound. And that takes us to step 3. Step 3, melt your words together, connect your speech. The first thing I tell my students is open your mouth, and they do, but then they start speaking like this. Every word sounds separate. And that's not how natural English works. In English, words flow together. This is called connected speech. For example, if you say, I have a meeting tomorrow, it sounds robotic. To make this sound more natural, you can think of melting your words together. I have a meeting tomorrow. See how the words blend together? That's what makes your speech sound natural. And guess what? Improving your connected speech doesn't just help your pronunciation, it actually improves your listening skills as well. Because when your mouth gets used to the way English sounds naturally, your brain starts to recognize those same patterns when you listen. Now, here's a final thought. I want you to take initiative and put yourself out there. None of this will make a difference if you're not actually using your English. You can practice articulating sounds, connecting words, speaking louder, but if you're not putting yourself out there, it won't stick. So here are a few things that you can do to help you practice English more often. You can take the lead in meetings. Don't wait to be called on. You can volunteer to give presentations. You can start more conversations even if they feel uncomfortable at first. And you can also send voice messages in English instead of just texting. The more you take action, the faster you'll build confidence. And if you're scared, do it anyway, because confidence comes after practice and not before. So instead of waiting until you feel ready, start now. If you don't know me, I'm Cris Nishimura. I'm a bilingual speech therapist and an accent coach at Sotaque Inglês. My team and I help Brazilians speak English more clearly and confidently without overthinking every sound. For years, I've been working with students who thought their pronunciation was holding them back. But the truth is, it's not about getting rid of your accent. It's about making sure your speech is clear and natural so people understand you effortlessly. And that's exactly what I help my students do. If you want to start practicing the right way, I've got a pronunciation program designed to help you master the sounds of English from the start. With the right training, you won't develop bad habits, you won't pick up pronunciation mistakes that are hard to fix later, and you'll sound more natural without overthinking every word. If you want to learn more, check the link in the description. Happy studying and talk to you soon.